And we're live. Good morning, everybody. Put your questions in the chat below. Dating and relationship advice for men. Any question you could possibly have, drop them in the chat right here, right now. We'll be on for quite a bit. Looking forward to helping you with online dating, in-person stuff, first date advice, anything that comes to mind. Adam, what's going on? My brother, drop a question in here as well if you like. Questions in the chat. Let's go. Hello. Hey, bro. What's going on, guys? Questions. Dating and relationship advice for men. Kazim is here. Let's go, guys. What's up, Danner? All right. How can you realize that a girl is playing games or she's generally just shy? That's a really good question. One of the big things that you want to look out for is hot and cold behavior. Is she really on in one moment and then pulls back? Is she on at one moment and then pulls back? That's hot and cold type of behavior, which is usually a red flag. Or is she generally just a little bit reluctant and shy and a bit more introverted? But there's a constant. What you want to look for is consistency in behavior in any type of relationship with men, with women, in professional environment, and especially in dating. Also, when it comes to the selection of the right girlfriend or wife, you want to look for consistency in behavior. Yes, you can say that women live out their emotional reality and they are emotional for sure, but some are way more consistent than others. Hey, from Toronto, what's going on? First date advice. Well, there's a lot. If you ask a little bit more specifically, then I'll be able to answer that a bit better. A couple of things for first date advice. First of all, you have to suggest a concrete time and place. It is your job as a man to suggest a concrete time and place. Say, first you go for a soft close, you go for 8 to 10 texts on the dating app, for example, and you say, let's meet for drinks one of these days. Ideally alcohol-free drinks. I'm gonna rant about alcohol later today probably. Let's meet for drinks one of these days. She says, cool. Then you say, cool, let's do bar XYZ at 7 p.m. on Thursday, question mark. That's what you do. Very, very important. You need to suggest a concrete time and place. Don't put the burden of proactivity onto her. Very important. Don't place the burden of proactivity onto her. That is your job as a man. It is your job as a man to suggest a concrete time and place. That's where it starts. Then make sure that you're well dressed, not overdressed. You don't have to wear a suit. I just wear that for professional purposes. But if you go to a date, dress nicely. Wear a shirt. Make sure your haircut is on point, your beard is on point. All of that is absolutely secondary to your communication skills. Communication skills are way more important, but a first impression matters. And also, if you get there, make sure that ideally you sit next to her, not opposite of each other. If you read Steve Jobs' autobiography, he says that, or the author says that when Steve Jobs went for business meetings, some critical ones, he would walk as opposed to just sitting opposite of the other person. Because if you walk somewhere, it creates a feeling of togetherness. As opposed to two political parties arguing, going at war with one another, you're next to one another, and it's easier to build intimacy in a respectful way that way as well. There's a lot more things that I could talk about for first date advice, but drop your questions in the chat, specific questions around first date. Very happy to answer them. Hope that was helpful so far. Next one. What's the right message that works with all the women? No such thing exists. In my coaching program, we teach a texting framework that will help you meet women on dating apps and then move it to a date, but it still needs to get tailored. Yeah, there are some messages that you can just copy and paste. For example, I'll give you a really great opening message here in a second, but the best ones, the best opening messages for Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble are tailored to her profile. And also, you still have to tailor it to your specific situation. Because, for example, you want to have a text that describes that you were doing something somewhat interesting last week. Instead of just saying, oh, just work, say, okay, work and friends. At least have a social element in there. It's very important. But it needs to get tailored to your situation as well as to hers. But if you look at her profile and you think there is nothing that you can go off, most of the time you're wrong. You're just not creative. You just don't have the skill set yet. But if there's really nothing, a really good opening message to send, on Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever the one, it's just, you seem like you have great energy, and then her name. You seem like you have great energy, and then her name. It stands out. Also, it's a really good one for in person, by the way. It's not the opening message, though, that's ultimately going to determine whether you'll end up in a relationship or not. No woman has ever entered a relationship with a man just because he had a great opener, but that's one that works extremely well. Next one, when to get into physical relations after getting into a relationship. I don't understand the question, sorry. Next one, what's your go-to pickup line? Dan, pickup lines are nonsense. I assume you're referring to the opener, the opening message or the opening line, if you see her in a bar, for example. Now, if you see her in an everyday situation, let's say you're walking down the street, you're walking from your office to the Starbucks and you see her, what do? Well, obviously, since you're a man, you gotta introduce yourself. Most men can't do it, they don't have the skill set, but you can learn it and it's gonna make you feel alive. Guess what? That's how human beings have procreated for hundreds of thousands of years. They've talked to each other in person. Crazy concept, I know. But the simplest opener is just, excuse me 2 seconds, you're really cute, so I had to come and say hi. That's it. Excuse me 2 seconds, I saw you. If you don't have anything else, ideally, you have a tailored opening line, of course. For example, she's wearing a black coat with wool. Excuse me, how many black sheep died for this? Ha ha ha. Simple one. Or, I saw you and I really like your posture. Or something unique. But that is going to overwhelm most men. Most men can't do that. You'll struggle with opening in the first place because you haven't even desensitized yourself towards approach anxiety. But once you progressively desensitize yourself towards that, I have a training video on my YouTube channel about that, by the way. You can check that out. That'll be extremely helpful. But simply say, excuse me 2 seconds, I saw you, you're really cute, I had to come and say hi. Don't say, wow, you're so beautiful. Again, how you say it also really matters. It's obviously not just the words. But saying you're beautiful is a bit of an overinvestment. Next, watching you instead of working. Good. You got to build pipeline. How to ask a sarcastic woman. How to ask her what? What's the best way to impress a woman? That's the wrong mindset. The more you're trying to impress her, the less impressed she will be. I'll tell you exactly how you'll impress her. And one of the key ways to do that is to be carefree. You want to be kind, you want to be calibrated. You need to be kind, respectful, and calibrated, but you also need to be carefree in your expression. Most men are so restricted in their communication, so worried and so careful whether she'll approve of what they have to say or not. And it's an immediate turn-off, because if she feels like you're walking on eggshells around her, it's going to make you come across as less confident. Therefore, she'll immediately, unconsciously, rightfully conclude that you don't have options available to yourself. And no woman wants to be with a man without options. So, very practically speaking, remove the filters from your communication. Remove the filters from your communication. You have a thought, say it. Now, I'm going to make a counter argument to exactly that point in a second, and you'll realize that the balance matters. But you want to say what comes to your mind. You have a thought, and you allow yourself to flow with that thought, even if you don't know where the story is going to end up. Because what's the opposite? You have a thought, you suppress it. You have a thought, you suppress it. That's exactly what you're doing in your professional career at the moment, for example, or your business. Because in a professional environment, you are trained to not share all these funny and weird and silly and politically incorrect thoughts that you might have. Because to be able to have a productive work environment, we don't want to pollute that with personal opinions too much. Fair enough, completely understand. But in your social environment, you have to share those, because otherwise you're never going to get into flow. You have to allow yourself to flow with it. Another really practical piece of advice is to watch stand-up comedy for 1 to 2 hours a week. How do I become more? You don't have to be funny, by the way. You don't have to be funny to find the right girlfriend or wife. But you have to be fun and lighthearted. Fun and lighthearted, positive emotions. But you don't have to be funny. You don't have to become a comedian. But to become more fun and lighthearted, you have to feed your mind with fun and lighthearted stuff. If you just consume politics and nonsense and heavy shit all the time, yeah, obviously that's gonna dampen your energy. And that's the energy you'll bring to the date. And it's gonna make it difficult for her to want to stay around you, because she'll primarily ping off the energy that she'll get from you. So, stand-up comedy 1 to 2 hours a week. 15, 20 minutes a day. That's it. You will see. Do this for a month and you'll see how your mood gets better. It's an amazing tip for happiness, by the way. I think they've done studies, don't quote me on this, where they've looked at what people consume right before they go to bed and how it impacts their mood. And if you watch crime or horror or thriller, yeah, you might not wake up in the best mood. But if you watch really funny things, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, Dave Chappelle, if you watch there's so many amazing stand-up comedians, Tony Hinchcliffe. If you watch those guys, you will get into a much better mood. Input equals output. Very important. So the best way to impress a woman, goes deeper than that obviously, is you have to become free in your expression. You have to stop filtering your communication so much. She doesn't want you to filter yourself. She wants you to have a strong opinion. Be kind and calibrated. You don't have to go around offending people. No, absolutely not. But you have a thought, say it. You have a thought, say it. Now, one of my old university professors, when I did a business degree, he said something really wisely. And he was an older man, absolute genius. I think we had a subject called negotiation and change management with him. And he said that the strength of a relationship can be measured by the depth of your teeth mark on your lips. How often did you have to bite your tongue or your teeth and not say something that you were going to say that could have hurt the other person's feelings? So at some point, obviously, you don't want to say stupid stuff that's going to hurt the other person's feelings, for sure. But the first step is to most of the clients who come to me, for example, they're already doing good in their job, they're doing well in your career, and chances are you are already calibrated. Some of you will have to become more calibrated, but most of you actually have to allow yourself to just say the silly stuff that comes out into your head. No, but it depends a little bit on what it is also, because you don't want to hurt the other person's feeling. So if you realize you're constantly offending people, become more calibrated. But if you feel like, I'm actually a little bit nervous, I'm shy, I'm very worried about how I'm going to get perceived, remove the filters from your communication. And what happens is, as you strive to become more radically honest in your communication, you will be like Moses parting the Red Sea. Most men communicate like lukewarm water. And then after an hour and a half, on the date, she'll shake your hand and she'll give you the greatest insult known to man, which was, it was nice to meet you. I just didn't feel the spark. You'll get a text afterwards. We're better off as friends. Or she'll pretend to be busy forever. Well, that's because you didn't communicate effectively. You didn't build a man-to-woman connection. So, in essence, understand that if you become more radically honest, some people will love you, some people will hate you. You have to be willing that after an hour and a half, she has really strong positive emotions for you or really strong negative emotions for you. If it's anything in between, then you didn't communicate effectively. Because remember, there's 300 million people in the US, 150 million women, 15 million in your age group, okay? You only need one. You only need one, but that one better really love you. That one better be super excited about you. Most men sacrifice really deep, fulfilling, loving, amazing relationships to women as well as male friendships for, getting along with everybody. They'd rather get along with everybody. They don't want to offend anybody. And what happens as a result of that is they have very few people in their lives that they can really count on, that really want to see them win, and that are truly in their corner. People with whom they have their values in common. Because if you don't communicate what you actually believe, then how are you going to find out whether the person opposite of you is just being politically correct and nice and polite, or whether they actually agree with you? I would much rather find out sooner today that we're not right for one another, which is perfectly fine, that we can respectfully shake hands, walk separate ways, respect each other's presence, but not waste each other's time because there's an opportunity cost associated with the time we're here. And then find somebody who's better for us. Instead of just, nice to meet you. You can wish beings well, as Jack Kornfield says. But that doesn't mean you need to have them in your life on a regular basis. You can wish the people well that you meet. You can meditate on loving kindness. You can separate the idea from the person, which is something that we've forgotten to do in our society. Because people are very ideological about things, this way, that way. But it would be much nicer to just wish people well, live and let live, freedom of speech, kind of important, isn't it? But understand that the people you want to have in your life, that one woman you want to be with, she has to have the same values as you. She doesn't have to have the same personality as you, but she absolutely has to have the same the same values as you. Where are you on religion and politics? Core values, outlook on life. If you argue about these, you might be able to just avoid the conversation until you have children. And once you have children, then you're screwed. Because both people are gonna wanna raise, you're gonna wanna raise your children your way, she's gonna wanna raise her children with her values, and then there's a clash and it'll be a problem. No matter how much couples therapy you do, you will never be able to coach away a bad fit. If the relationship is structurally broken because you're simply not compatible, there is nothing you can do to fix it, and you're both better off walking separate ways. That's why, pardon me, coming full circle, you need to create a lot of options for yourself. Most men stumble into relationships by accident. This is exactly what happened with my ex-wife. I stumbled into the relationship because she was just kind of there, and say she did the same. Instead of both of us consciously evaluating a bunch of different options, seeing are we actually aligned on our values, radically honest, and say, well, probably we're not. Doesn't mean the first date has to be an interview. The first couple of dates have to be fun, lighthearted, and romantic. Don't make it an interview. But in the back of your head, be screening for compatibility regarding your values, absolutely essential. We didn't do that, so we ended up in a marriage that wasn't fulfilling for either one of us. So I suffered a shit ton. And there's a lot of men out there who are suffering a lot. Women also have their side of the suffering, absolutely, for sure. But men suffer, and their suffering comes in one of two ways. Either they're alone, or they settle for somebody. And if you don't make a decision to use dating apps, in-person approaches, Instagram messages, to go on a bunch of different dates, to evaluate who's actually right for you, you will end up in a mediocre relationship, mark my words. You can't change it though. You absolutely can. You can get out there and overcome your approach anxiety, learn the skill set of approaching effectively. You can do it. There's free resources. There's paid resources. We have 2,000 to 3,000 short form videos. We have a YouTube channel. We have a podcast. We have a coaching program. Apply for a free initial consultation call if you'd like to learn some more. There's free resources. There's paid resources. But you have to make a decision to acquire the information and to then also get somebody to hold you accountable and resolve your mindset problems, because 80% in anything is psychology, 20% is mindset. Why is it that there are billionaires who are overweight? Some of the most intelligent people in the world. How much cognitive computing power does it actually take to understand a caloric deficit? Not that much. Oh, calories in, calories out. So why is it that there are some billionaires who don't understand this? Well, success is 80% mindset. The way our mind is set, determined by our thoughts and emotions. That's what you gotta change. Because there's things right now you're doing well with women you're not even aware of. You have certain unconscious competencies. You have certain conscious competencies. Things you know you're doing well. Then there's things you know you're doing well, conscious competencies. And then there, things you know you need to improve, conscious incompetencies. And then there's things you don't even know you don't know, blind spots. And those are the ones you need to resolve. And once you do that, you can absolutely fix it. That's the beautiful thing about dating. Everybody thinks, just wait and the right one will find you. There's no magic. There's processes and systems like in anything. The way you build a man-to-woman connection. You can absolutely learn this. So I'd really encourage you to get a lot of options for yourself. Be carefree in your expression. Come to full circle. That's the way you best impress a woman. Next question. At the first date, should I be close to her or no? Well, you want to be calibrated. You want to be as close as she's comfortable. So you want to sit next to her. And then you need to start building physical contact. In the beginning, you just give her a high five or a fist bump, and then you can see how she reacts. We'll have a reel coming about this in a couple of days, by the way, here on Instagram, where I show a little bit about that. But you want to be calibrated. You need to see, is she comfortable? Cool. If she's uncomfortable, you create space and you move back. So you basically let her determine how close she wants to be. Next, what's up, David? Will you ever do a live event? We do live events. We did a live event with a lot of clients in December in Dublin, not only clients, but larger clients, which was pretty awesome. We had some guys fly over from the US, from different parts of Europe, obviously in Ireland. So that was awesome. We do live events. Again, apply for a free call, and then my team is going to reach out and we'll be able to tell you more. Next one. I didn't get closure. It's been 2 years, sir. Please help to move on. All right, let's go. Listen, if you're trying to get over a breakup, here's a couple of very practical strategies for you. Number one, spend time with high-quality male friends. Go to the gym. Join a boxing gym. Go to jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, something masculine. You cannot isolate yourself. The worst thing that men do when they're trying to get over a breakup is to isolate themselves. You need social contact. It could be family, it could be your dog, but it has to be actual humans. Ideally strong male friends who are going to snap you back to reality and tell you, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? She was 2% of your life. You have so much more going for yourself. You feel a little bit bad now, you have negative emotions, fine, I understand it hurts. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna stay at home, jerk yourself to sleep, become a victim, consume alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, or worse, and get into a really bad spiral? And remember what James Clear said. People don't rise to the level of their goals, they fall to the level of their systems. Having male friends that you see every single day is a system. It's a system. This is a prescription. This is not optional. If you're going through a breakup right now, if you know a man who's going through a breakup right now, tell him this. If you know somebody, hit him up. He might not be hitting you up. Hit him up, say, let's hang out. You just have to be together, play Mortal Kombat, go to the gym, go and date. Go into nature. You cannot isolate yourself under any circumstance because your brain is deprived of oxytocin. Your brain also needs to prove not just the promises that you are desirous. So even though you don't feel like dating at all, it's the last thing you want to do. You grab a friend and you go out. You refuse any alcohol for the next couple of months. Zero. Little bit of caffeine. I've seen guys go crazy over caffeine, right? No other stuff. Yeah, you could smoke a cigar every now and then. That's fine. No other drug intake. Make sure your sleep is perfect, okay? Check out Andrew Huberman on YouTube. He has a long episode on sleep. Peter Attia. These types of guys. Check out sleep. But the number one thing is contact with high quality male friends. Because answer this for me, my friend. The times you suffered most in your life, was it when you were by yourself or when you were in the company of people? It's usually when you're by yourself and isolated. Most men, even men who are doing really well in their career, their business, whether you're just getting started and you're young, it doesn't matter where you're at. Most men do not have enough high quality male friends. I have YouTube videos about that. But here are a very couple of practical strategies. Go to the gym. Go play golf. Go rock climbing. Go to yoga. What else? Bachata salsa. Like boxing or kickboxing. You can do that right now. Go to a typically masculine environment. Go box with them, train with them and say, hey bro, let's get a coffee someday. Call him bro so he knows you don't have any other intentions. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's probably not what you're going for at this stage. You need to spend time with high quality male friends. It is the most important thing. Then you have to get out there and get sunlight every single day, half an hour to an hour outside. It'll massively boost your mood. You don't have to suffer for months on end. Do you understand this? If you're going through a breakup, you don't have to suffer for months on end. We've seen this in How I Met Your Mother, right? When Lily broke up with Marshall because she wanted to move to San Francisco to do her arts thing. Fine, fair enough. What was Marshall doing? He was lying in bed for 6 to 8 weeks, like, doing nothing. Did he work out? No. Did he go out and socialize and date? No. Ted, who was a weakling, in my opinion, super nice guy, but he didn't give Marshall the energy that he needed either. Okay? You need to have friends who kick you in the balls and say, hey, let's go, motherfucker. Let's go. What are you doing? Wake up. Get out there. You don't have to suffer. Pain happens, but suffering is optional. Jack Kornfield says, we're very loyal to our suffering. We're very, very loyal to our suffering. Is it going to hurt like shit for a couple of days? Of course. It's going to be extremely painful. Take an ice bath. Go to the sauna. There are habits that are available to you. I have a YouTube video on my channel called The 8 Keys to Happiness. I got updated because I've learned a couple new strategies since we filmed it 3 years ago. But watch that. Start. Work out every day. Your sleep has to be on point every day. Make progress. What is the next level for you in your career or your business? Because what is happiness? Tony Robbins says progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. You don't have to achieve the final goal to feel happy. You just have to feel like you're making progress. Make progress. Go out there and date. I don't feel like dating. What's better? You're dating yourself anyway. Huh? You're dating yourself anyway. So you might as well do that with an actual real life person. It might not cure you, but it'll definitely help. Go out there and date instantaneously. Zero alcohol. Go out there and date. They might say, well, David, should I not heal? Yes, do therapy. Yes, meditate for 20 to 30 minutes a day. Go to your YouTube search and look up Jack Kornfield. Jack, K-R-O-N, Jack Kornfield. He has guided meditations. He's one of the best guys. He founded the Spirit Rock Meditation Center in California. Absolute legend. Sam Altman, founder of OpenAI. He's a student of Jack Kornfield, for example, and like a lot of other people in the San Francisco area. Look him up. Guided meditation by Jack Kornfield. Calm and ease, open heart, the one who knows, loving witness. Do these meditations, they will help you. Sit for 20 to 30 minutes, feel the pain, but then get back out there. Most men conflate the times between healing and being active and participating in life. Sit down, fully feel it, allow everything to come out. Now, don't feed the pain with your thought. Don't let the emotion take over the mind. Don't have a pain body attack, but feel the grief, feel the pain, really be present with it. You sit with it as the realm of loving awareness. And you're the loving witness who just feels it. You're the space in which thoughts and emotions arise. But guess what? Emotions have a half-life, don't they? Whatever you resist persists. You sit there for 20, 30 minutes. And then you get back out there. A couple of very practical pieces of advice. I hope that was useful. Yeah, we're gonna, by the way, put this on YouTube also. So if you know somebody who is currently going through a breakup, then I have a breakup video, by the way, on YouTube. If you go to How to Get Over a Breakup, pretty epic rant where I'm at the sea, send this to somebody. Because I was in London this weekend and I actually ran into somebody and then he texted me on Instagram. The screenshot is currently in my story. And he says he owns a restaurant in London. He's like, oh, you're the guy from TikTok, that's crazy. And he says, yeah, you really helped me during a time when I was going through a breakup. This is something that's very dear to my heart. Okay, I've suffered a lot. I had a panic attack the day after my wedding with my ex-wife. A couple of months after we got engaged, many, many, many years ago, obviously, before I got into this whole dating thing, my story is explained in a different YouTube story and a different YouTube video. Like, I suffered a lot. I started having like anxiety and shit because I wasn't listening to my own needs, because I wasn't spending enough time with high-quality male friends. I wasn't paying attention to the habits. I wasn't designing a life with the woman who was right for me. She wasn't a bad person. Probably, like, we're both, you know, we both had our flaws, I would say, but we just weren't right for one another. And then you end up suffering. Right? This is not about blaming. Person's toxic. Yeah, you could say that about anybody on anything. But it becomes toxic. The relationship becomes toxic. In other words, unhealthy. So, hope that was helpful. Next one. How to flirt with my girlfriend's mom. How can we go from something this epic and profound and meaningful? Okay, here's the course. Guys, how to meet your girlfriend's mom. Ridiculous, obviously. Funny though, good timing, because I'm just going through the questions. Obviously, it's all a little bit delayed. Best book for female psychology, my YouTube channel. Next one, how to move on after a breakup. We just covered this. My girlfriend always wants me to apologize first. How do I change that? Well, I would sit down with her and say, whoever did something wrong should apologize. If you did something wrong, well, then she has every right to ask you to apologize first. But if you didn't do anything wrong, well, then it's her job to apologize. Then ask her, hey, I don't think this is okay. If she absolutely refuses ever to apologize, pardon me, break up. That's it. Next one. Love you, bro. Need to drop. We'll come back later. Say hello. What's going on, Kazim? Next one. I propose to my crush. She only sees me as a friend. Move on. Do you text with her when she's cold? When she's cold is an interpretation. It's not the actual behavior. Most of you don't live in reality. Most of us, we live in interpretation. So the interpretation, the meaning you give the situation that she's cold. Now, you may be very right with that she is cold, probably because your texting sucks, probably because you haven't improved your communication skills yet. But yeah, just invite her out one more time, and if she doesn't want to, just block her and move on. Next. My girlfriend converted to some other person. She probably left you for some other person. That's what you mean. There's nothing you can do. You move on, and you just get more dates. How to move on, get more dates. Can I go again for a second chance? No, you move on. What is the best way to approach a woman in a group of people? Interesting question. So what you do is you put 80% of your focus on her and then the group. So for example, you say, excuse me guys, but I saw you, absolutely, whatever, tailored compliment as discussed earlier, really love your posture, you seem like you have great energy, your eyes, I could see your face from the other side of the street, absolutely gorgeous face, I had to come and say hi, nice to meet you. And then you put 80% of your focus on her, 20% on the group, 80% on her, 20% on the group, and then you just exchange Instagram or contact details, and then you move on. Next, does the long distance relationship thing really work? Well, I just made a YouTube video that you can watch about traveling and where I talk about non-exclusive long distance. Long distance only works if it's non-exclusive. You cannot be in a monogamous relationship long distance and have it work 99% of the time. Every now and then it may, most of the time it won't. Most of the time it won't work. It really won't. So for a short period of time, it's possible. But what's much better is initially you just date several people long distance, and then that may seem like a strange concept. Or you just find somebody where you are. Most men who go for long distance relationships, they just can't get enough options where they're currently at. If you could actually just get dates, which you can learn, again, it's just skill set, just learn the skill set, then you can just meet people where you are. You don't need to do long distance ever. You don't have to do long distance. Unless you live in a really, really small town, or you live in Washington or something. I don't know if it's DC or one of those places where it's just apparently really bad. I don't know. Well, then you might need to do long distance, but that's strategies. I've had plenty of clients over the years who have been able to help with that as well. But then you date several people, honestly, respectfully, up front. You let them know transparently. You date several people long distance for 6 to 12 months, and then she moves to you. Simple as. Next. You got some cheese on your lips. It's not cheese. It's my lip, bro. It's skin. It's not cheese. I can't eat cheese. I'm dairy intolerant. If at all, if anything, it was vegan cheese. Okay, next. No, but thank you for the reminder. This is just skin. Next. How do you seduce a girl at Starbucks? You probably won't be able to do all of the seduction, what a weird word by the way, seduction at Starbucks. But if you're standing in the line with her at Starbucks, you can simply say, excuse me, have you tried the pumpkin spice latte? And she goes, no, yeah, my friend said don't make shit up that isn't true. Like, I heard it's pretty cool. Anyway, I really like your outfit, nice to meet you. Cool, boom. You wanna, if your opening line, if your opener doesn't have intent, then it should come at least 1 or 2 sentences afterwards. And then you build attraction, you build connection, you exchange contact details, boom, as always. Milan Berlin 7 says, love you, David. Thank you so much, bro. Love you back. Johnny B 1991 is saying, hi, David. Is it still advised or important to date despite not wanting any or much of a relationship as long as you're upfront about it? I don't want to waste people's time, of course. Yeah, of course you can do that. No problem. There's plenty of women who are not looking for anything long-term as well. Most women, I would argue, are looking for long-term, but absolutely you can do that. Just be open and upfront about it. No problem. How do you know if she's ready for a relationship, but she has a kid with another man, but is not married? Well, there's a couple of things, right? Some men are totally okay with dating women who have children and some don't. That's just absolutely personal preference. You have to decide whether you want to do that or not. Again, some people are very ideological. Don't date single moms. Really? You're gonna make that a rule? That is the most silly thing I've ever heard. Now, I understand when you don't want to do that, fine. But that's just personal preference. There's no things like, so all single moms shouldn't be allowed to date? That's ridiculous. That is completely so stupid. But that's just your personal decision, okay? You can do that if you want to. Oh, shoot. Oh, okay, here we are. You can do it or you don't have to. But how do you know whether she's ready for a relationship? How about you ask her? You date her on exclusively for 4 to 12 weeks, and then you say, you should be my girlfriend. And then she says, yeah, cool, or no. That's it. What's the best way to impress the woman you actually love? We talked about that earlier. Gabriel says, the best, David, thank you. Do you have a girlfriend? Yeah, Fernanda. So you see her in the stories, the lady with the black hair, my fiance, yeah. She left me for someone else. How should I react? You block her, you move on, and you thank the heavens that you now have a chance to meet somebody who's a million times better and to go through the process of actually becoming the man you were meant to be in terms of communication and confidence. That doesn't mean that you have to be super rich to be able to find someone. Complete nonsense, because no matter how rich you are, guess there's always somebody richer. So they can always outplay you. It's no matter what game you play, there's always somebody who's gonna exceed you in some parameter just because there's 8 billion people in the world. So it's much more about finding your authentic communication style, which you haven't done yet. If you were to find your authentic communication style, then it'd probably be a lot better for you, okay? So thank the heavens, thank God, thank the universe that you now have the ability to actually find somebody with whom you can have a healthy relationship, because I guarantee you didn't have one before. How do I know that? I don't know that for a fact, but purely statistically speaking, it's most likely the case. Next. Data scientist. I was dating a Ukrainian girl. Whenever I talk about a relationship, she changes the topic, and if any conflicts arise, she goes silent. She also copies my personality traits. She's also stalking my Instagram. When I hear that, I immediately, it doesn't even sound to me like you were even in the same city. Are you even in the same city? Were you even in person? So very difficult for me to answer this one. Just send me a direct message. By the way, if I'm not able to answer your question right here, right now, just send me a DM on Instagram. Just DM me. It might take me a couple of days to get back to you because it's pretty big. It's pretty full, the inbox. But just send me a DM and we're going to get back to you, okay? Next. If I met a girl for the first time, what should I do to get her obsessed with me? Obsessed is a bit of a weird word, but to get her excited, exactly what we talked earlier, you communicate who you are without filters, unapologetically, unashamedly, and you build attraction and connection. These are the two things. Raw authenticity and attraction connection. In other words, that element of man to woman connection. That's what you do. Next. By the way, if you want our help with that, click the link in the bio and apply for a free initial consultation call. Next. Ooh, good one. How can I be more confident when I talk to her? There's 4 sources of confidence. The first one is competence, by becoming better at the skill set. If you're confident in your job or your business or your hobby, it is because you're good at it. The more confident, the more competent you become, the more confident you become. It's very important to keep that in mind. The better you get at something, the more confident you become. In psychology, they call that the confidence loop. So by simply developing this skill set, you'll become more confident. The second source of confidence is state, your mental and emotional state. Tony Robbins says that confidence is a state that we can learn to turn on. And it's truly so. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was saying that once I'm super rich, then he's already extremely confident with women. He says, but then I'll be next level. I say, no, it won't. It won't make you better, right? Financial success and confidence with women, they're not related. There's no clear-cut correlation. Does it have some impact, whether you're on your purpose, on your path? For sure. But I would argue it is more you making progress towards your goals, which makes you feel alive. That's going to make you confident. It's the progress component. It's you being excited about your life. That makes a difference in terms of your energy. But simply, trust me, I have a lot of clients who are rich as shit. I have some clients who are extremely wealthy and still very insecure around women. Some are extremely insecure, some are just a little bit insecure. The money will not make you confident with women. The money will make you confident in a business setting. So they'd be confident when they're walking into a business meeting. Fine. When they're talking to women, they can't approach. They still can't even have radically honest conversations with their parents because they're afraid the parents are going to judge them. They have all the same insecurities. So you might as well develop the context-specific competence now. And second, learn how to become confident as a state by Gunther Schmidt, one of Germany's best psychologists, somebody that I learned a lot from, Tony Robbins that I learned a lot from. What we focus on, our language patterns, how we use our physiology. And also just, again, if you spend time around other men, me in a virtual environment, people in your gym, a boxing gym, a jiu-jitsu gym, these are really good places, personal development events, what other, like men's group, where men just hang out and do stuff together, do that. That makes you confident. Now, that's not gonna fix the competence component, but it's gonna have a massive impact. But then also, what do you focus on a daily basis? Do you focus on what you can control or what you can't control? By focusing on what you can control, by asking yourself, because questions direct our focus, what can I control? What can I do right now? What can I do right now to achieve goal XYZ? Once you focus on that, you feel more certainty instantaneously. There's a beautiful, very short clip on Instagram that I've seen of Jeff Bezos from many years ago, where he says that stress doesn't come from working too much. It comes from not taking control over something that we do have control over. If you feel stressed, it's because there's something in your life, a task, an activity, a responsibility, something you know you should be doing, you're avoiding, or something that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. This is a real life hack. If you're ever stressed, in whichever way, shape, or form, ask yourself one of these 2 questions. 1, what am I not doing that I should be doing? Or what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? Again, if you're ever stressed, ask yourself these questions. What am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? Or what am I not doing that I should be doing? Granted, there is a physiological component. If you're not getting enough sunlight, sleep, exercise, oxytocin, your nutrition is on point, that's also going to feed into it, right? Nicotine, caffeine, all of that for sure, alcohol. But these two things are massive. Ask yourself that. And most often the answer is what? Tony Robbins says it, massive action is the cure-all. If you're not sure what to do, take a lot of action. Do a lot of approaches. Go to 20 approaches. Sign up to all the dating apps. Get professional pictures taken. Build a killer profile on dating apps. Write a good bio. Take action. Online dating apps work. They're amazing if you make them work. But if you take a half-assed approach to them with your shitty pictures, of course they won't work. This is not just all the best-looking men, women. 60-70% of my clients find a future girlfriend or wife from online dating apps. But because we take strategic action over a consistent period of time. You can do that too. So, confidence, second source, is your state. What we focus on, how we talk to ourselves, our internal dialogue, and also the physiology component in terms of like what I was talking about earlier, right? Sunlight, sleep, also how we use our body. Gunther Schmidt in Germany, one of Germany's best psychologists, he says, how you're going, that's how it's going. How we are walking, that's how it's going. Because how you walk, your body language, is not just an expression of how you feel, it also primes it. There's priming research that says that if we use our body the way we would if we already felt in a desirable way, then we're going to prime that state. In other words, if I just pull my shoulders back a little bit, Jordan Peterson talks about that, head up, speak with more certainty. Doesn't mean we need to do Conor McGregor walking through the octagon. And by the way, I think Conor McGregor is amazing. And that makes sense. If you were to actually walk around at home the way he did when he was walking through the octagon, do that for 2 minutes and see if you don't notice a slight difference in your own subjective experience. You will! Because it primes a more empowering mental and emotional state. Jump up and down for 2 minutes. Change your state. Do you not feel that you're neurologically speaking a different person before and after a 1-hour weights workout? You are, Gunther Schmidt says, not the same person, neurologically speaking, because your brain chemistry is completely different. So confidence. Competence, state. Third one is beliefs. What do you believe about yourself? Tony Robbins says that the story we tell ourselves about ourselves is what's going to shape us long term. What do you believe? And a lot of those beliefs you don't even hold consciously. Do you believe, oh, I'm just too short, I'm too rich, I'm not rich enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm in the US. All nonsense! Every belief you have right now as to why you couldn't achieve a certain goal is an excuse. Every belief you have right now is an excuse. That isn't even to say that it isn't a real obstacle. Sure, I have some clients who are 6'4", good looking, and some clients who are 5 foot, short. Do they have to do 5 to 10 times the amount of work to get the same results or like close or good results? For them to find a fulfilling relationship, do they have to do a lot more work? Of course. Is it still possible? Of course. It's just going to take more work and different strategies. That's it. But putting in work isn't the problem if the process is enjoyable. If you've designed it in a way where you'll stop punishing yourself for not making the progress that you want, because a lot of you guys are extremely critical on yourself. A lot of you guys live in an antagonistic relationship with yourself without even knowing it. And what you have to understand is that this is truly beautiful. The relationship you have with yourself isn't something that was once created 13 years ago when your uncle kicked you in the face, or 40 years ago. It is something you recreate on a daily basis by what you say to yourself in your own mind, and second, how you say it. Because your inner dialogue isn't just the words you utter, but it's also the tonality that it's being said with. So the really practical tip for overcoming nervousness on the first date, you sit there and you simply say, oh, what if she rejects me? What if this isn't going to go anywhere? What if she doesn't text me back? Well, it's not just the words that you utter, it's how you say them. Now rephrase that and say that in a Donald Duck type of voice. And like you change the pitch. This is going to sound really crazy, but this is actually cutting edge neuroscience. You sit there and she's like, David is a little bit nervous. I'm horrible at impressions, my apologies. But just like, you make it really sound really weird. David is a little bit nervous right now. Look at that ginger. He's scared. And it sounds really strange and stupid, I'm aware, but I've learned this from one of Germany's best psychologists, okay? Keep in mind, the process, the technical term is called disassociation or dissociation. When you're fully afraid or angry or sad or whatever undesirable symptom you're experiencing, you are associated with that suffering side of you. If you dissociate by saying, oh, David is a little bit nervous, David doesn't want to get rejected. Obviously, don't say that out loud because people are going to think you're a little crazy. especially on a date, you just start talking to yourself like, actually, what's going on with it? But if you say that to yourself in your own mind, then you dissociate and you create a relationship to the suffering side within you. And then all of a sudden you assume the position of a confident, caring, and certain and grounded part of you. And then you relate to the part in you that's insecure because you are not insecure. There's an insecure part in you. And we all have them, and that's fine. But it's just sometimes not useful to associate with them on the date because then we're not going to be able to present ourselves in the most attractive fashion, right? So by simply saying, oh, David is a little bit nervous, David doesn't want to get rejected, or just like you just got rejected, and like, David got rejected, David doesn't like getting rejected. Like it sounds like it's crazy talk. But again, it's called dissociation. You can look it up. You dissociate from the part in you that is experiencing the symptom. And then you just relate to it from a more competent point of view. And what I want for you is I want you to feel competent. I want you to feel strong and competent. Because true confidence is not, I'm better than you. It is, I want to feel as strong and alive as I possibly can. And I want you to do the same because then the world will be a better place. Because in spirituality, there's this idea that there's only true emotions ultimately. There's love and there's fear. And if we don't come from love for ourselves and other people, there's fear. And fear, in the end, is destructive. We all have it every once in a while. And saying that we shouldn't feel fear is also a problem. So meditate, sit there, allow the fear to arise in the space of loving awareness. But then eventually, it's better to prime a confident and certain state. And again, that partially comes back down to beliefs. So summary, confidence. First comes from competence by learning the skill set of dating. Second of all, by controlling your mental and emotional state. And third, beliefs. And the fourth one is osmosis. By being around osmosis, as in you suck it up, right? Diffusion, you suck it up. Simply by being around people who laugh more, you become more joyful. Simply by being around people who have good habits, you get better habits. If you're around people who are lazy, you drink a lot of alcohol, you become lazy. You'll drink more alcohol. Simply by being around men who are truly confident, some of their confidence is going to rub off on you. Most of you aren't confident enough because you're not exposed to truly confident men. Not confident in a I am better than you way. And confidence, by the way, doesn't have to be loud. I just happen to be loud because my mom's a nurse. She's my hero. She's very excited. So that's kind of where I picked that up. Confidence is neither loud nor quiet. It just is. But if you are more exposed to people who are truly confident, that will rub off on you. It is almost impossible to be confident if you have men in your life who don't truly want to see you win. Very difficult. So, get them. All right. Next one. I apologize if I skipped a couple of questions here. It's not scrolling for me very well. All right. Let's pick a different one. Again, if I'm not able to answer your question here right now, I apologize. Then just please send me a direct message on Instagram or apply for a free call or watch the podcast or the YouTube videos or one of the 2,000 to 3,000 short form videos that we have here on Instagram or other platforms. Jan Kasper says, einfach machen. Yeah, also true. But then again, you also want to do the right thing. Okay, I'm trying to answer a question here. Boop, 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 boop. Where are you from, dude? I'm from Germany, but I live in Ireland. What about having several women? Well, I know there are different traditions around the world. But I believe, first of all, individual happiness, do whatever you want, right? But for most men, a normal monogamous relationship is going to be the most fulfilling way forward. That's what I believe. For most men, the fact is, in my opinion, and if you look around, that's the case, the most fulfilling, sustainable strategy for long-term mutual happiness is just a monogamous relationship. But then again, do what you want. Next. My girl will travel to another city with boys and girls and they will all stay in one Airbnb because Airbnb is much cheaper, she said, and she'll sleep in one apartment, all together, the boys and girls. Context matters. I personally wouldn't be happy with that. Now, I wouldn't tell Fernanda not to do this, but I would say if you were to do this, we probably won't be in a relationship anymore. She can do whatever she wants, but that doesn't mean that I then owe her to be in a relationship where I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm the last person to want to dictate how women should live their lives. But I, for me, would absolutely not be okay with that. But then again, there's a context where, look, there might be some context in which it makes sense. Probably it doesn't. So I would just have an open and honest conversation around that, and send me a DM with a little bit more context. But again, she can do whatever she wants, but you're totally free to be or not be in a relationship with her if she wants to do that. Where is that woman next to you? If you mean Fernanda, my fiance, she's in town right now. And what I mean in town is in the city center in Dublin. And then she'll come back home. I love a woman at work, but I don't know how I can tell her. You don't never date women from work, it can get you fired. Andrea_Carboni. That's not a question that I can answer right here, right now, but just send me a DM here on Instagram and I'll tell you. That's why I don't deserve to be in a relationship. That's a mindset problem, but maybe it's also true. Maybe you just need to go work on yourself a little bit. But again, most people who say, I need to work on myself first before I can be in a relationship are confused. Because that implies that you will eventually stop working on yourself. You will never stop working on yourself. Personal development is going to go on forever because you're either growing or you're deteriorating. You'll never stay the same. So you might as well find somebody now and then build something beautiful together with her. How is your bachata classes going on? I'm not taking any at the moment. David, you got something on your upper lip. Yeah, I know, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is not cheese, as somebody said. It's skin. Like if I rip it off, it bleeds. Okay? If I'm going to rip it off, I know it looks stupid. I'm very well aware of it. I'm utterly insecure around it. But if I rip it off right now, it's going to freaking bleed. But I appreciate the feedback. You can solve different beliefs. Okay, well, that's nonsense. Next. Hi, David. How to look more masculine? It's not so much about, you obviously go to the gym and that helps, for sure, and the way you dress, but it really depends on how you communicate. So, in other words, can you be disagreeable? Can you hold eye contact? What's with your tonality? These things matter so much more. Do you have like an approval-seeking smile and facial expression? These things matter so much more because some women really like skinny guys, some women really like guys who are buffed. Overall, obviously go to the gym because it's healthy and there's no reason to pack on some muscle. But really, it's in essence about communication. Hey David, how are you doing? I've been seeing this girl, but she still hangs out with her ex. She says she sees her friend now. I really like her. Should I be cautious? No, just move on. Next. As in when I say next, I don't mean next question. I mean just next. Just date somebody else. How to meet women, where to search for them. Dating apps, Instagram messages, and in-person approaches. So one guy goes, since when do Germans know how to date? Fair enough. Next. I'm losing social flow again and again. How to keep up the momentum always. You don't need to keep up the momentum always. You just need to keep it up until you're in a relationship. But the way you keep it up is you just go out and you socialize. You should have 2 to 3 social events. Every single week, we think, oh, it's so crazy, 2 to 3 social events. We used to be around our tribe 24/7. We used to have tribal members around us 24/7. So, one evening bachata, next evening jiu-jitsu, then go out to bars, don't drink alcohol, don't consume any of those nonsense drugs, go out and socialize and then spend time with high-quality male friends. If you talk to people every day, you will maintain momentum. And then, you talk to somebody, you talk to the receptionist, you talk to the Uber driver, you talk to the security staff, and be friendly with them. Have a little bit of a chit chat, make them feel good, make yourself feel good. That's how you use it. Use everyday interactions to contribute a little bit of positivity to them and also to yourself. Next. Research, Eugene says, research the restaurant before you set the date, make sure there are tables with 90-degree seating. Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. I appreciate that. I would say what's even better is just go to a bar. Don't even go to a restaurant for a first date. You can in some circumstances, but most of the time it's just better just do drinks for the first date. You are the best coach ever. Thank you, Katalin. Really appreciate it. One guy goes, $200 wieder. That was awesome. If you know, you know. Trying to find a question. Okay, Gabrielle. I'm 38. I want to ask a 45-year-old girl to date. She's a doctor. I'm quite nervous. She's so freaking intelligent. Can you give some tips? Well, Gabrielle.Marchi, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll give you some advice. But also, just get her contact details and just ask her out. Say, let's meet for drinks one of these days. Well, and then you build it on the date. Obviously, you have to have like a 3 to 7 minute conversation where you hook her interest initially, but then you go onto the date. Just get IG and say, let's meet for drinks one of these days. Ideally alcohol for drinks, but that's it. That's how you ask her out. The German jokes. Jack Cornfield. Yeah, with a K. Jack Cornfield with a K. Airline pilot. How to balance martial arts with the fact that it can cause you pain. Want to be masculine, but without broken hands. Good point. Do jiu-jitsu. Because the problem with boxing and kickboxing is not even your hands. Yes, it can cause hand problems. So for hands, by the way, just tape them, right? I used to get really bad pain in my hands when I'd be punching heavy bags, but you just need to tape them. That's one. But brain damage is something very real. If you don't plan on becoming a professional martial artist, eventually it's better to just do jiu-jitsu long term. But if you need a masculine environment right now, just do boxing and kickboxing. But in the long term, jiu-jitsu, best option. How many girls do you have? I have one fiance. Oh, I just jumped to the bottom. Okay. David, sprich mal Deutsch, wäre interessant, dich auf Deutsch zu hören. Ja, wir können auch gerne mal ein bisschen auf Deutsch reden, wenn ihr ein paar deutsche Fragen habt. Können wir auch gerne ein bisschen was auf Deutsch machen. Für dich, für die Deutschen hier, ich habe auch einen deutschen YouTube-Kanal, kannst du dir gerne mal angucken, da müssen noch ein paar alte Dating-Videos von mir drauf sein. Ein bisschen cringe, Brudi, ganz ehrlich. Aber David Mesen, Deutsch Dating, kannst du ja mal bei YouTube suchen, dann wirst du auch was finden. Alright, that was a little bit of German, guys. Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Would you date a girl that left someone for you? Sure, why not? If you're the better option. Depends. But in general, yeah. If she didn't cheat. Because if she'll cheat with you, she'll cheat on you. When to stay and make a relationship work instead of moving on. Very much depends. Send me a DM here on Instagram and I'll give you a little bit of context. But that very much depends. If you've tried couples therapy, you've tried to work things out to meet each other's needs, and you really try to meet her need and make her feel good, also set boundaries, build attraction, let her invest. If you've tried all of that for 4 to 8 weeks and it doesn't work, just move on. Sorry if I'm skipping some questions here, because it's just popping all over the place. All right, let me pick one more. Hey brother, how to impress a woman in the office? You don't, again, don't date women from work. What if your love is too far, I would assume away, and you have very little chance of a future together? Just date somebody where you are, date somebody locally. As I said, we talked about this long distance thing earlier. Long distance is complete nonsense for most people. All right, guys, it was real. Again, if I wasn't able to answer you, send me a DM on Instagram, apply for a free initial consultation call, listen to the podcast, We have YouTube videos that are 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long, an hour and a half long. Again, we have 2,000 videos on TikTok. We have 1,000 videos or so on Instagram. I don't know how many on Instagram. Hundreds and hundreds, like 2,000 to 3,000 short form videos all across the internet. This was awesome, guys. Send me DM. Looking forward to seeing you guys soon. Enjoy.